There comes a moment in life when you suddenly realize something uncomfortable. You have been living, but not truly in control of your mind. Every day the world pulls you in different directions. People's opinions disturb your peace. Small problems steal your attention. And slowly your energy is drained by things that should never have had power over you. But centuries ago, powerful thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus discovered a different way to live. A way to remain calm even in chaos. A way to become mentally strong in a world full of noise. They believed that true power does not come from controlling the world. True power comes from mastering your own mind. And in this video, you will discover 7 Stoic life lessons that can help you reinvent yourself in 2026 and become completely unbothered by the things that once controlled you. But before we begin, if you want to develop an unbreakable mind, make sure you subscribe to this channel Unbreakable Mind for more powerful Stoic wisdom. Now, let's begin. Before a person can reinvent their life, they must first recognize the invisible chains holding them back. And the first chain is something millions of people struggle with every single day. Stop living for other people's approval. Many people never become who they were meant to be, not because they lack talent, not because they lack intelligence, but because they are afraid of what others will think. They silence their voice to avoid criticism. They shrink their dreams to fit inside society's expectations. They change themselves just to be accepted. But the Stoics understood something liberating. You cannot control how people see you. Some will misunderstand you. Some will judge you. Some will criticize you no matter what you do, so why waste your life trying to satisfy minds that constantly change? A Stoic focuses on something far more important. Living with integrity. Living according to their own values. The day you stop chasing approval is the day your true freedom begins. Let me ask you something. Have you ever held yourself back from doing something important just because you were afraid of people's opinions? Be honest. If you are ready to stop living for approval, write, "I choose my own path," in the comments. One of the most invisible prisons a human being can live in is the need for approval. It doesn't have walls. It doesn't have chains. Yet millions of people spend their entire lives trapped inside it. From a young age, we are taught to seek validation, to be liked, to be accepted, to avoid criticism at all costs. So slowly, without even realizing it, many people begin to shape their lives around other people's opinions. They silence their real thoughts so no one will judge them. They hide their ambitions because they fear being misunderstood. They pretend to be someone they are not, just to fit into spaces that were never meant for them. But Stoic philosophy reveals something deeply liberating. You cannot control how people see you. Some people will misunderstand your intentions. Some will criticize your choices. Some will judge you simply because you are different. Even the great Roman emperor and Stoic thinker Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that human opinions are temporary and unstable. One day people praise you. The next day they question you. If you build your life around approval, your peace will always depend on something fragile. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from something far deeper. Self-respect. A Stoic does not measure their worth by applause. They measure their life by their values, their actions, and their character. They ask themselves simple questions. Did I act with honesty today? Did I remain calm in difficulty? Did I do what I believed was right? When your focus shifts from external approval to internal integrity, something powerful begins to happen. Your mind becomes quieter, your confidence becomes stronger, and the fear of judgment slowly fades away, because you finally understand a timeless Stoic truth. You were not born to impress the world. You were born to live authentically. And the moment you stop chasing approval is the moment you begin to experience real freedom. But even when you stop worrying about people's opinions, there is another silent enemy that continues to disturb your peace. Your own mind. Your mind is the most powerful tool you possess. Master your thought, but if you do not control it, it can become your greatest enemy. Many people live trapped inside endless thoughts. They replay past mistakes. They imagine future problems. They overanalyze situations that are already over. And slowly, their peace disappears. But Stoicism teaches a powerful truth. Your thoughts are not facts. They are simply mental interpretations. A Stoic learns to observe thoughts without becoming controlled by them. Instead of feeding anxiety, they choose clarity. Instead of feeding fear, they choose action. And the moment you gain control over your thoughts, you gain control over your life. Most people believe their suffering comes from situations, from other people, or from circumstances beyond their control. Yet the Stoics understood something far deeper. The mind has the power to transform any moment into peace, or into chaos. Imagine how often the mind drifts into worry. A small problem appears, and suddenly the mind begins to race. What if this goes wrong? What if people judge me? What if I fail? Before long, the mind builds an entire storm out of something that may never even happen. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca once observed that human beings often suffer more in imagination than they do in reality. The mind creates shadows of fear that feel real, yet they exist only within our thoughts. Stoicism teaches a calming truth. Your thoughts are not commands. They are only suggestions passing through the mind. A Stoic learns to step back and observe their thoughts the same way one watches clouds moving slowly across the sky. Some clouds are dark, some are light, but none of them stay forever. When a difficult thought appears, the Stoic does not immediately believe it. Instead, they pause. They question it. They ask themselves, is this thought helping me, or harming me? This simple pause creates space between emotion and reaction, and inside that space lies freedom. The great Stoic teacher Epictetus reminded his students that people are not disturbed by events themselves, but by the judgments they make about those events. In other words, the problem is rarely the situation. The problem is the meaning we attach to it. When you learn to guide your thoughts instead of being controlled by them, something remarkable happens. Anxiety loses its grip, fear becomes quieter, the mind becomes steady, and slowly, you begin to experience one of the deepest Stoic truths. Peace does not come from controlling the world. Peace comes from mastering your mind. But life will still test you, no matter how strong your mindset becomes. And sometimes those tests arrive in the form of struggle. Turn struggle into strength. Every life contains struggle. No one escapes difficulty. Loss happens. Failure happens. Unexpected problems appear without warning. But the Stoics believed something different from most people. They believed struggle was not an enemy. It was a teacher. Every challenge strengthens your patience. Every failure sharpens your wisdom. Every painful experience builds emotional endurance. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? A Stoic asks, what is this trying to teach me? And that single change in perspective transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth. Sooner or later, life brings moments that test the human spirit. Moments that feel heavy, moments that feel unfair, moments that make you question your strength. Maybe it was a failure that embarrassed you. Maybe it was a betrayal you never expected. Maybe it was a dream that slowly fell apart in front of your eyes. Pain has a way of arriving without warning. And when it does, most people ask the same question. Why is this happening to me? But the Stoics saw pain from a completely different perspective. They believed pain was not sent to destroy you. It was sent to shape you. Think about it. Every strong person you admire today was once tested by hardship. Every resilient mind was built through difficulty. The Roman emperor and Stoic thinker Marcus Aurelius ruled during wars, political betrayal, and devastating plagues. Yet he wrote something powerful in his private reflections. The obstacle in the path becomes the path. In other words, the very thing standing in your way may be the thing that transforms you. The heartbreak teaches emotional strength. The failure that once discouraged you teaches wisdom. The struggle you face today may be preparing you for responsibilities you cannot yet see. Pain forces growth. It demands courage. It reveals the strength that comfort could never build. So instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking a different question. What is this moment trying to teach me? That question changes everything, because the moment you stop seeing pain as punishment, and start seeing it as preparation, you take back your power. And now I want to ask you something. Think about one difficult moment in your life, something that once felt impossible to overcome. Yet here you are today, still standing, still moving forward, right, stronger than yesterday. In the comments if you believe your struggles are shaping a stronger version of you. Because one of the deepest Stoic truths is this: the fire that tests you is the same fire that forges you. But there is another danger that destroys potential just as easily as struggle. Comfort. Do not become weak through comfort. Comfort feels good, but comfort slowly weakens the human spirit. When life becomes too easy, people stop growing. They stop challenging themselves. They avoid discomfort and slowly lose their mental strength. The Stoics understood that growth requires resistance, so they practiced voluntary hardship. They trained themselves to endure difficulty so they would never become fragile. Because when hard times inevitably arrived, they were ready. Growth begins the moment you stop choosing comfort over progress. At first, comfort feels like a reward, a place where life becomes easier, a place where there is less struggle, less resistance, less pressure. And for a moment, comfort feels peaceful. But the Stoics understood something most people do not realize until it is too late. Too much comfort slowly weakens the human spirit. When life becomes too easy, the mind begins to relax in dangerous ways. Discipline fades. Ambition becomes quiet. The desire to grow slowly disappears. Days become routine. Dreams become distant. Potential remains unused. And before a person realizes it, years have passed inside the quiet trap of comfort. The Stoics believed that a strong mind must never become dependent on easy conditions. The Roman philosopher Seneca often advised people to voluntarily experience discomfort from time to time. He suggested sleeping on a hard bed, eating simple food, or facing small hardships intentionally. Not because suffering is desirable, but because comfort can make a person fragile. When you train yourself to face discomfort willingly, you build something powerful within your character. Resilience. Imagine a person who only knows comfort. The moment life becomes difficult, they panic. But imagine someone who has trained their mind to endure difficulty. They remain calm when challenges appear. They adapt. They persist. They grow stronger. The Stoics believed hardship was not something to avoid at all costs. It was something that strengthens the mind, just as resistance strengthens the body. Think of the strongest steel. It becomes strong not through softness, but through fire. And the same is true for the human spirit. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but growth rarely happens there. Growth happens when you wake up early even when your body wants rest. Growth happens when you work hard while others choose distraction. Growth happens when you push beyond limits that once felt impossible. The Stoic path is not about making life harder for no reason. It is about refusing to become weak in a world that constantly invites laziness. Now take a moment to reflect. Where in your life have you become too comfortable? Is it your habits, your discipline, your goals? Right, I choose growth over comfort. In the comments if you are ready to challenge yourself again. Because one of the deepest Stoic truths is this: comfort relaxes the mind, but challenge awakens it, and those who learn to embrace difficulty are the ones who become truly unbreakable. But sometimes the things destroying our peace are not situations. They are people. Protect your inner peace. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people bring negativity. Some bring unnecessary drama. Some bring constant criticism. If you allow every opinion, every argument, and every conflict into your mind, Your peace will constantly be under attack. Stoicism teaches the power of selective attention. Not everything deserves your reaction. Sometimes strength is not proving a point. Sometimes strength is simply walking away. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is necessary. There is a subtle enemy that destroys more lives than failure, fear, or hardship. It is not visible, it cannot be touched, and yet it quietly erodes your strength, your clarity, and your focus. That enemy is other people's drama, their negativity, their opinions, their unresolved anger, and the constant need to pull you into their chaos. Many people live their lives as emotional carriers, carrying burdens that are not theirs. They worry about what others think, they intervene in conflicts that do not concern them, and they try to solve problems that are not theirs to solve. The Stoics teach a liberating truth: you are not responsible for everyone else's feelings. Epictetus reminded his students that what belongs to others should remain with them. If you spend all your energy trying to fix the world, you will lose the most important thing you have, your peace of mind. This does not make you selfish. It makes you wise. Not every comment requires a response. Not every conflict requires your energy. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Sometimes the most powerful action is silence. Sometimes the strongest choice is distance. Imagine a mind free from unnecessary drama. Calm, clear, focused. That is not weakness. That is mastery. Ask yourself, where in your life are you giving away your energy to people who do not value it? Write, "My peace first," in the comments if you are ready to stop letting others control your mind. Because one of the deepest Stoic truths is simple yet profound. Protect your inner peace. It is your most valuable possession. And once you guard it, nothing external can truly shake you. But there is one powerful force that keeps many people trapped in the same life year after year. Fear. Act despite fear. Fear is one of the greatest barriers to personal growth. Fear convinces people to stay comfortable. Fear convinces people to delay their dreams. Fear whispers that failure will destroy them. But the Stoics believed courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite it every time you face something that scares you. You weaken fear's control over your life, and slowly your confidence grows stronger. The life you want is often hiding just beyond the fears you refuse to face. Fear is a silent thief. It steals dreams, steals confidence, and keeps countless people trapped in lives far below their potential. Fear tells you to wait, to hesitate, to settle. It whispers that failure will define you, that rejection will break you, that stepping forward is too dangerous. And most people listen. They allow fear to dictate every decision. The Stoics, however, saw fear differently. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action despite it. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that obstacles are only as strong as the mind perceives them to be. Every time you face what scares you, fear loses a little of its power. Every time you take a step into the unknown, your confidence grows. Small actions build momentum, and momentum turns hesitation into unstoppable forward motion. Imagine if the fear holding you back today was gone tomorrow. Imagine acting on your words without hesitation, speaking your truth without apology, stepping into challenges without doubt. Write, "I am stronger than my fear," in the comments if you are ready to take control and move forward despite fear. Because one of the most powerful Stoic truths is this: fear only has power if you allow it to. Act anyway, and you reclaim your life. But the final Stoic lesson may be the most important of all, because without it, nothing truly changes. Build daily discipline. Motivation fades quickly, emotions change, but discipline remains. Stoicism teaches that greatness is built through consistent habits. Small actions repeated daily. Waking up when you do not feel like it, working when it is uncomfortable. Improving even when no one is watching. Discipline turns ordinary people into extraordinary individuals. It is the quiet force that slowly transforms your entire life. Discipline is the invisible force that turns ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Motivation fades. Excitement disappears. But discipline keeps you moving forward when no one is watching. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus taught that greatness is not built in moments of inspiration, but in small, consistent actions repeated day after day. A simple daily routine can change everything. Wake up early, before distractions arrive. Spend 10 to 20 minutes reflecting or journaling on your goals. Commit to focused work, even when you don't feel like it. Exercise your body to strengthen your mind. End your day reviewing what you learned and what you can improve tomorrow. Small daily habits compound into unshakable strength. Write, "I choose discipline," in the comments if you are ready to commit to your daily growth and create a life that cannot be shaken. Because the most unbreakable minds are forged in the quiet power of daily discipline. If you apply these 7 Stoic lessons in 2026, something powerful will begin to happen. The things that once disturbed your mind will lose their power. Other people's opinions will stop controlling your choices. Fear will no longer dictate your future. And slowly, you will become calmer, stronger, more focused, unbothered by the chaos of the world. Because true power does not come from controlling everything around you. It comes from mastering yourself. If this message inspired you, subscribe to Unbreakable Mind for more Stoic wisdom and powerful life lessons. And if you want to continue strengthening your mindset, watch the next video on your screen right now, where we explore even deeper Stoic strategies to help you build a truly unbreakable mind. Because your transformation has only just begun.